Hello, headbangers. My name is Alan, and I'm here on Heavy Metallurgy today to review the new album from Sweden's Faidra. This is their second album. It's entitled Militant, Penitent, Triumphant, and it's being released on November 3rd, 2023 via Northern Silence Productions. Fedra is a one-man black metal project from Sweden. The member has chosen to remain anonymous and stay shrouded in mystery, which is okay, I suppose, but let's face it, the novelty of that wore off a long time ago when you look at the vast number of one-man black metal solo projects going on where the person tries to keep their identity hidden. That is not the reason I decided to check out Faidra. What actually caught my attention was the fact that this was being released on Northern Silence Productions. This label has developed a good reputation for having quality black metal bands on the label that know how to tap into the sort of classic second wave black metal sound, but also the bands are able to infuse that formula with some of their own personality and identity so that the projects end up sounding very well-rounded and relatively unique. Because let's be honest, we just don't need that many more Darkthrone clones running around in the world. So anytime a promo pops up from Northern Silence Productions, it gets shuffled close to the top of my list of things to check out. And I'm really glad I did with Faidra. I was not familiar with their debut album, Six Voices Inside, so this project was new to me. What struck me immediately about Militant, Penitent, Triumphant is that it's operating in a very mid-paced kind of, Norwegian or Scandinavian black metal sound. This is, not running full speed. It's not, tremolo picking as fast as possible. It's going at, a much, easier pace. It's more in line maybe with, mid-period Burzum in that sense. There's kind of a similarity, to some of Varg's material there too, in the way that the keyboards and synths are used. They create, a relatively dreamy atmosphere, even though they're held, to a relatively simple use in a lot of cases. They're used very effectively, though, in several of the songs, and give it a very nice atmospheric vibe, similar to what you would associate with an album like Philosophem, for example. So yeah, I really like the way they're approaching the synths. They're creating this kind of serene and tranquil atmosphere, rather than just drenching it in sound effects or leaning wholly on it to try to carry the weight of the song. Because Phaedra very much is not doing that. Along with those kind of atmospheric moments, there's still very solid tremolo-led guitar work that establishes these melodic repeating riffs. They generate this kind of trance-like vibe throughout the song as they're slowly repeated over and over in key parts of the music. Once again, a bit reminiscent of what Burzum did on classic albums. When the vocals come in on songs, they're operating, what you'd consider a pretty standard sort of, hoarse, shrieking type of Scandinavian black metal vocal. They're done very well. They fit the mood of the music very nicely. So yeah, Fader's, definitely got, all the right elements in their songs. And how did the song sound overall in terms of production? What I like here is that the tone of the album, it still is, relatively cold. It still has a little bit of that kind of, frostbitten menace to the guitar sound, for example. But it is not completely lo-fi production either. This isn't your stereotypical one person in a basement with an 8-track recorder. No, this is somebody who knows how to produce music, so that even though you get a little bit of that, grim, frosty, edge to the guitars and to the vocals, the rest of the instrumentation is also very clear and very well balanced in the mix. So this doesn't just sound like some kind of, true grim lo-fi recording for the sake of being lo-fi. No, they want you to be able to hear everything that's going on here, and you can. It works extremely well. In terms of that kind of, production and just having everything very well balanced, Faidra reminds me a bit of the band None and their recent albums, which kind of go for a similar pacing and also tend to have a very strong, well-rounded production to them, while retaining that icy sensation that you want from things that feel like Scandinavian black metal. In terms of individual songs, the album starts off incredibly well. The lead tracks are my favorites. You have the opener, The Leavening Rot, which features all the elements that I've just gone over. Great trancy tremolo riffing, excellent use of synths in the background, those caustic, icy vocals, which just put you immediately in the mindset, of someone that the misanthropy, the disgust, the hatred is just seething out of them in some kind of wintry landscape. Yes, it's a tad cliche, perhaps. Yes, it's been done a lot before, but it still impresses me when a band can do it extremely well, and Phaedra can definitely do it extremely well. Lots of bands do this kind of stuff, and it ends up being relatively cookie cutter and kind of average. Phaedra is way ahead of the curve in those regards. So the album moves on from strength to strength as we get to track number 2, Punishment Nailed Deep. I think this is my favorite track on the album. Has an excellent melodic riff that repeats throughout the song, creating that trance-like quality that I enjoy quite a bit. Excellent vocal delivery, excellent use of the synthesizers and such in the background. The song comes together incredibly well and is definitely a highlight of the album. If I have a relatively minor criticism of the album, I feel like the album is a little front heavy. Those first 2 tracks are so incredibly well done that by the time I get to track 3, I'm already a little out of breath. It's kind of like, all right, what comes next? And while track 3 is still quite good, I think by track 4, my attention has drifted a little bit. It's not that there's anything wrong with the tracks in the middle of the album. It just feels like the album is a bit front loaded. And in those cases, you put so much emotional investment into the first few songs that the middle of the album can feel like it either lags a little bit or that you just don't connect or absorb it as well because you're still focused on the incredible experience you just had with the previous couple of songs. But the album rounds out in very good form as we get closer to the end. So tracks number 5, Mother Acherontia, and track 6, the closer, Jaws of Neptune, both deliver great stuff once again. The album, again, is very solid throughout. I just feel like, with the best 2 songs up front, maybe it takes a little while to kind of refocus and get fully invested again once you get through the middle of the album. Fantastic record. Clocks in around the 45-minute mark. It's a good length, not too long, not too short. The songs all do their thing. They're evenly paced. And this was something that people criticized the band for a bit on the first album, but they do it incredibly well. I'm suspecting that some of the critics maybe were looking for just a faster, more aggressive flavor of black metal, which is not at all what Faidra is trying to do. If you're wanting something that, is 1,000 miles per hour, no, this isn't the right album for that. But if you want a band that knows how to very slowly and methodically build a song, take their time, and deliver something that, again, just, really has, that, vehement, nasty, darkened flavor to it, Faidra is doing it quite well. So I'm not surprised that Northern Silence Productions has, got another quality band on their roster, and one that I'm going to have to keep tabs on moving forward, because I'm very impressed with what they have done on Militant, Penitent, Triumphant. I'll be going back and revisiting the first album and paying more attention to that one as well. All right, now let's do a quick call to arms. This is another release on Northern Silence Productions and another band I wasn't familiar with. But as I said, the band is putting out enough quality stuff that when I see that label associated with the new release, I will give it a glance. And on first impression, I've also been pretty impressed with the new album from Nornir. This is a German black metal band. The album is entitled Skuld, and it's being released on December 1st, 2023. Nornir, this will be their second full-length album, and they mix sort of different black metal styles here. There is a little bit, more caustic, slightly more aggressive strain of black metal here. There's also, however, a framework of more melodic black metal parts. Just melodic in the sense that, the guitar lines are carrying a melody, not overly melodic or synth-driven in terms of something like a Dimmer Borg here. Not that style at all. Wait, there's more. Nornir also incorporates some, pagan black metal themes here and there with some different instrumentation. This may be more limited to some of the shorter like intros and instrumentals and such, but it does add another dimension to the album that helps break it up, keeps it interesting, and doesn't just devolve into being another sort of, second wave, nameless, faceless band. First impression of Skuld has been pretty positive as well. If you're looking for something that, again, maybe is more faster paced, doesn't lean on the atmospherics as much as Faidra, but still has sort of a multifaceted approach to black metal, Germany's Nornir is a pretty good one. I want to point out in particular the vocal performance is really impressive on it. I like the way they deliver the vocals. Has kind of a unique sound to it, but still being in that very angry, caustic, kind of croaky black metal vocal style that we all know and love. All right, that is going to do it for this Heavy Metallurgy review. Check back on the channel. We usually have at least one review posted each week. There's an album club discussion every Wednesday night live where the panelists have spent a week dissecting an album, sometimes a new release, sometimes an old favorite, and sometimes an unknown cult album. That gives everybody a chance to check them out. It's a fun discussion, lasts about an hour. And on Friday nights, we have the Heavy Metallurgy live stream where guests from YouTube, different bands, different journalists, all from the heavy metal underground, join in to talk about all kinds of different fun topics. And there's a very fun live chat that goes along with that as well. All right, everybody. So until next time, make sure you check out the new releases from Fedra and Nornir. And as always, everybody out there, keep banging your head.